The reason shame is so detrimental to our being is because it's a continuous punishment. You know, there's no way of being open to giving or receiving love when you're in a state of holding on to so much shame within yourself, or holding on to any shame really, because that distortion, that energy of your shame is going to come up within any connection that you wish to make, or anything that you choose to do for yourself, you know, in love. You're not going to be able to hold on to love in its natural form. Something is always going to come up to disrupt the love because it's not being addressed. You know what I'm saying? It's an insecurity, and that insecurity is you feeling whatever it is. The insecurity in whatever form it is you feeling like you are not deserving of love. When we step outside of the norm, when we are in this world of right and wrong, and we do wrong, we're constantly punished for it. So that punishment is what we believe we deserve, right? And this type of thinking creates narcissistic behavior. It's not only for people who are abused. This is for everybody, right? It creates distorted behavior. It creates crazy behavior, right? So people do things that are going to give them temporary fixes. If you feel inadequate in yourself, you're going to do things to give yourself a temporary fix, right? So people easily fall into addictions and to feel better about themselves, or they'll become narcissistic in order to feel more powerful over people, right? Constantly comparing themselves to other people and feeling less than, but so to make themselves feel more, they're going to try to get power over people and try to get, right? There's a hole that needs to be filled. They're trying to get this energy from people to fill in that hole, to give them that sensation of feeling good, feeling complete, And as a society, it's become like impossible to maintain relationships. So that we have a society that's obsessed with sex and obsessed with getting things, gaining things from people, right? Because we have no sense of self. It's always what you can get. Love is warped in the sense that it's not even considered in our society anymore, right? All the inequalities like gender and race and all that shit is a distraction to what's actually going on. And what's actually going on is that there is a lack of awareness of self, you know what I'm saying? So people feel like because they've been burned so much, right? Because in our relationships, we end up, if we start by loving somebody, that love does not last. And we end up projecting our insecurities onto our partners, right? And we get burned, right? And those projections we take on as like, we get hurt by it, and it becomes part of our trauma. It becomes part of our shame. So we act in that shame rather than taking the time to heal it, right? We act in that shame and build up barriers and build up walls. Those walls that we build have changed our society as a whole, right? And I'm not saying society was better in any era than the last era. I'm saying that in each era there's been a twisted image of love in every era. You know what I'm saying? Us as people don't understand who we are. Doesn't matter when the time was, when the time is us as people on this planet who have a veil, who are not seeing beyond the veil, understand ourselves in this twisted reality. And so we put all these expectations on people to fill our cup when we haven't taken the time to fill our own cup. And we get into relationships and the relationships don't work out. It's like we're afraid of love because everybody's afraid to be hurt again. But the only reason why we're hurt is because we don't understand what love is, because we don't understand who we are, right? Because we haven't taken responsibility for for what we're holding on to in our life, you know. We feel as if we're inherently flawed somehow. And we're not dumb. We're not dumb people. It's just we're being taken advantage of, right? Our insecurities are being capitalized off of. Everything that we're going through, whether, whatever agenda that we're going, that is presented, whether it's race, class, mental health, um, money, the jail system, anything, everything, every problem, every illness that we have is being capitalized off of. And so our focus is to be able to get money in order to remedy the issues in our life. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of a machine that is benefiting 1% of the population. 0.1% of the population. It has nothing to do with the self, right? If we start actually looking at ourselves and loving who we are, it'll be a detriment to the system at hand, So we are continuously distracted from what we should actually be focused on, which is healing the self, And it's sad, but it's just a distraction. It's not impossible to do. It's, we're being distracted from it. And so we have to switch. So it's a matter of being aware of that and switching our focus to what actually matters, right? That's the same thing as being in the matrix and choosing the red pill, choosing to be outside of the matrix, right? It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. That waking up is a matter of choice. That healing is a matter of choice. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easier, and you don't automatically just see everything. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do see everything, it's a process of living in terms of changing to live through it, right? It's a matter of faith, right? But it's a commitment to live in a different way. It's a commitment to see beyond the veil. The biggest umbrella tactic that is used to distract us is divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer separates people in terms of culture, class, race, age, whatever other boxes, educational status, gender. All of these boxes that we put ourselves in are weaponized, right? It's not that we should not understand ourselves in our, that we should not make language to understand ourselves in these ways. It's that it's weaponized against us so that we can't see that we are all the same, right? That we are all people, right? That we are all children of God, right? That we are all in the same boat, all looking for the same thing, which is to feel complete. That's the basis of it, right? So all these divisions are made, and these divisions we take on as our identity. And that is the ego. That is the ego, is those things that we take on as who we are, not remembering that we are divine children of God, not remembering that we are eternal beings in ourself, right? Not remembering that who we are spans way beyond this 3D plane. It's those tactics are there for us to forget, so that we keep fighting these divisions. We're distracted not only by these divisions, but by fighting these divisions, right? We fight these divisions, and then we fight each other, so that we look at each other in terms of right and wrong. Justice is seen as punishment, as the victor and the one who is to be punished, right? It's not seen as correction. So nothing gets corrected. It's just perpetuated. It's a system that perpetuates itself because there's no consensus on anything, right? Everybody's trying to be right. Everybody's trying to gain one up on another person. Everybody is trying to feel special, not understanding that they are already special in who they are, right? That fact is turned against us. Love is put on the back burner. Love is seen as, people who talk about love too much are seen as weak, are seen as soft, are seen as illogical. You know what I'm saying? Because logic is within these boxes that we have made. You know what I'm saying? That we have constructed, and love is not a real thing in terms of logic. And it's true. Love is not a real thing in terms of logic, because logic is within this construct, and this construct is not real. So this construct is loveless. You know what I'm saying? It's not real. It's not a part of our being. It's not a part of the God inside of us. So that aspect of ourself is loveless. The ego is loveless, right? And the ego is played out within society. So society is loveless, right? But we're looking for love there because we are love. So we're constantly looking for ourselves there. You know what I'm saying? But it's not there. It's not there. Or it's like it's here. It's here. It's never left us, but we've never seen it, and we're not going to see it within society, because our society is not built that way, right? Not until everybody can see themselves and start to begin to change the boxes that we have constructed, start to begin to dismantle the system from the inside out without fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because fighting is a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? There's always there's always war when there's fighting. You know what I'm saying? There's always a right and a wrong. So the one that feels right, if somebody feels right, another person's gonna feel wronged, right? And then war comes up from that. So there's always this imbalance within society, because there's always that war. But that imbalance keeps that system of evil, and I call it evil only because it's loveless. You know what I'm saying? It has no inherent power. We give it its power. You know what I'm saying? But it's evil in the sense that it's loveless. It's not of us, right? It's not of our true nature. It's of the fear that we've created because we are not in touch with our true nature. So that is why the ego is the perpetuation of fear. That is why the love of money is the root of all evil, because it's literally opposite to love. Right? So love and fear are opposites, not love and fear are opposites. So if the construction of money and the love of money, you gaining money is an outward projection of looking for love, then it's devoid of love, right? So that means it's evil. It's opposite. It's in opposition to love. You know what I'm saying? It is fear. You think you need it. And I'm not saying that money. Again, I'm not saying that money is inherently evil, because we give everything its power, right? It's how we use it. Anything can be weaponized. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how we choose to use it, right? And I'm not saying to condemn the life that we live. It's to reshape your mind, to reshape the way you live life so that it can work for you, so that is not loveless, so that we are not living through the ego, so that we are not living in a loveless state, And as you do it, you're going to influence somebody else to do it, and that person is going to influence another person to do it, We know about these things. But to live it is a different thing, right? To live it takes work. To live it takes effort. To live it feels like it's way off because it's not prioritized within our society. But it's only prioritized if we choose, if the individual chooses to prioritize it,